A woman disappears on a Saturday in Georgia. Less than a day later, her rental SUV is found parked off a highway, unlocked, empty, like someone just stepped out and never came back. In the woods nearby, investigators find a red tote bag, signs of a small fire, and down an embankment, a body, nude, burned, one hand still gripping a small tree, as if the last thing she did was try to hold herself to the world.
And then there's the message, one of the last known communications tied to her, connected to a Venmo transfer to her daughter. The note reads like a warning and a goodbye all at once. They are not going to let me go. Love you. There is a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door. That single line is why so many people still can't let this case go.
Today, we're talking about Debbie Collier, 59 years old, from Athens, Georgia, found dead in Habersham County near the Tallulah Falls, Clarksville area back in September 2022. Officials ultimately ruled Debbie's death a suicide based on medical examiner's findings. But the circumstances, what was found, what was said early in the investigation, and that message leave people questioning that determination.
What's the emergency?
No problem. All units standby.
I'm at the corner of Pleasant Hill and John Young Freeway.
1519519 East 18.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Crime Solvers Central. I'm Charlie.
I'm Jace.
Debbie Collier was an Athens resident. Reporting at the time described her as a working professional, employed in an office management role in real estate. She had family, an adult daughter, Amanda Bearden, and a husband, Steve Collier, who became central to the early timeline investigators documented.
One detail that comes up again and again, Debbie reportedly had a bad back, and family indicated she couldn't walk far on foot. That matters later when you look at the terrain where she was found.
The suspicious death of Debbie Collier has gained international attention as Habersham County investigators continue to work to find whoever is responsible.
This after the body of the 59-year-old was taken to the GBI medical examiner's office for an autopsy. Fox 5's Eric Perry has followed the story. He joins us from the live desk with the latest. Eric?
Yeah, Courtney, Tom, today marks exactly 2 weeks since the 59-year-old was reportedly last seen alive by her husband. Investigators say they need the public's help in piecing together clues as to who could be responsible.
According to the timeline compiled from incident reports, Debbie was last seen by her husband the night of September 9th, 2022. Before bed, around 9 p.m. She's reported missing on September 10th.
And she wasn't driving her normal car. Her daughter told investigators Debbie's car was in the shop, so she left home in a rented Chrysler Pacifica with only her license and a debit card.
That rental matters because it's how the search tightens. A Tallulah Falls officer reportedly noticed that Chrysler Pacifica sitting off Georgia Highway 15 around 5 p.m. on September 10th. Then, on September 11th, SiriusXM contacts law enforcement about a signal tied to the vehicle's location, pointing investigators back to that same area off Highway 15.
And that is how the case moves from missing person to something much darker in a matter of hours.
Back in Athens, before the body is found, the timeline notes the family's account includes a Venmo payment and a message. This was tied to Debbie's last known communications.
And that's the line that haunts people. They are not going to let me go. Plus the key location detail. It reads like someone under pressure, or someone trying to get a final instruction out.
And just like that, you have a mystery with a built-in contradiction, a message implying they, and then a scene later interpreted officially as self-inflicted.
All right, next we're going into the discovery scene. What was found near the vehicle, what was found in the woods, and what investigators documented right there at the embankment.
Once deputies respond to the location off Highway 15, the vehicle is located in a pull-off area near an old logging road. Reports described it as unlocked and empty.
Debbie's daughter arrives after law enforcement finds the car, described in the reports as screaming that it belonged to her mother, and then the search moves into the woods.
In the incident narrative, highlighted by reporting, an officer sees a red tote bag near an uprooted tree. Nearby are what appear to be the remains of a fire. Looking down the embankment, they see a partially burned blue tarp, and then a nude female lying on her back, her right hand grasping a small tree, identified as Debbie Collier.
That detail about her gripping the tree is something that you can't unhear, because it makes the scene feel active, like something happened fast, or painfully, or both.
The reports also describe burns and charring on her abdomen. So immediately, public perception goes to, was someone trying to destroy evidence or stage something? And early on, investigators publicly talked like they were treating it seriously, like a potential homicide.
There was early reporting that investigators said they saw no evidence suggesting kidnapping or suicide at that point, and they were treating it as a murder investigation during the initial phase.
And that matters, because later, the official conclusion shifts.
One of the clearest, most concrete timestamps in Debbie Collier's final day comes from surveillance video at a Family Dollar in Clayton. This isn't rumor. This is one of the last confirmed Debbie was here, Debbie did this moments.
And what she bought there is what makes the stop feel so loaded in hindsight, because it reads less like casual shopping and more like gathering specific items for a purpose. The list is pretty exact. A rain poncho, a refillable torch lighter, a 2-roll pack of paper towels, a 7.5 by 9.5 foot tarp, and a reusable tote bag.
It's also important that she's reportedly the last known sighting on camera. And it's not just the purchase. After she leaves the store at 3:09 p.m., the footage indicates she stays in her vehicle for about 10 minutes, apparently alone, before driving off.
That 10-minute pause is the kind of detail that sticks with people, because it invites a bunch of interpretations without giving you the answer. Was she collecting herself, writing a message, waiting for someone, looking up directions, or just sitting there thinking?
And because we know what was later found at the scene, items that overlap with what you'd buy at a discount store, this stop becomes a pivot point in the story. It's one of the only places where the timeline feels firm enough to grab.
There's another piece that changed the way a lot of people viewed this case. What Debbie's daughter, Amanda Bearden, shared during a YouTube live stream of the Crime on the Record podcast, Amanda said she believes her mother took her own life.
And that's significant, because it was described as the first time she publicly said that. She also described things that Debbie did in the days before she disappeared that, looking back, felt weird to her. Like Debbie had started, quote, giving me all of her things, and she had taken the whole week off before she vanished.
Amanda also said no one saw Debbie on Friday, the day before she went missing, which added to the feeling that Debbie may have been isolating or moving through the week differently than normal.
And she said something that hits hard, because it's so human. Debbie was dealing with stuff that she didn't want to burden me with. That's the kind of line that could completely shift how you interpret the earlier facts. especially when you put it next to the strange Venmo payment and message.
Amanda also stated that she did not speak with her mother on that Saturday, which also matters because it frames the Venmo transfer as not part of an ongoing conversation between them that day. More like something Debbie sent into the void, hoping that it would be understood.
According to reporting on the Sheriff's Office announcement, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation Medical Examiner's Office determined Debbie's cause of death as inhalation of superheated gases, thermal injuries, and hydrocodone intoxication, and the manner of death was ruled a suicide.
So that's the official record. But here's where the case stays unsolved in the public mind. People look at the location, the message, the condition of the body, the items near the scene, and the fact that earlier statements sounded like investigators didn't see suicide as fitting, at least not at first.
And we're not here to declare an answer. We're here to map the contradictions honestly.
We can say the vehicle was located off Highway 15, and the body was found nearby down an embankment. We can say there was a red tote bag, a partially burned blue tarp, and evidence of a fire. We can say the Venmo message exists in reporting and was treated as a meaningful lead. And we can say the medical examiner's conclusion was suicide with the listed cause of death elements.
Everything else, motive, who they might mean, whether someone else was present, falls into theories.
So up next, let's talk theories, but let's do it responsibly, as possibilities, not accusations.
Lots of speculation about this case over the last several weeks. This was the first opportunity for reporters to go face-to-face on the record with investigators. What happened to Debbie Collier, found partially nude and burned on the side of this road, according to investigators, is clear.
We have not changed our thoughts about this being a homicide.
We believe that this act was deliberate and personal. There is no information or evidence to this point that shows that this was something random, that there was something that was out, that was not from somebody that she either knew or somebody who she had some association with.
The first theory is the official one. Debbie's death was self-inflicted. Under that framework, the fire, the burns, the inhalation of superheated gases align with the scenario where she set a fire and died in the process, with hydrocodone intoxication present.
If that's the case, then the Venmo message becomes the big question. Some people interpret it as panic, confusion, or impaired thinking. Others see it as metaphorical. They meaning circumstances, addiction, fear, something internal. That doesn't make it emotionally satisfying, but it's one way people reconcile they with suicide.
The second theory is the one that keeps the public conversation burning. Coercion. Someone else involved, someone applying pressure. That message, written plainly, sounds like she's being controlled.
And then you layer in the scene. Remote location, evidence of a fire, items left behind. People ask, if she was in distress, how did she end up there? Why that exact spot? Why the rental? Why leave the vehicle parked in view off the highway?
Important note, none of that proves a second person, but it explains why suspicion sticks.
Another theory people discuss is staging. The idea that the scene was created to point in multiple directions at once. Fire can destroy evidence, and the strange, almost symbolic details, the tote bag, the tarp, make people wonder whether the point was confusion.
And early investigative tone matters here, because early reporting described investigators treating it as a murder before the medical examiner's final ruling. When public messaging shifts, people often suspect something changed behind the scenes. Sometimes that's normal investigation. Sometimes it fuels mistrust. One more possibility sits in the uncomfortable middle. that Debbie was in a personal crisis, medical, emotional, substance-related, or something else. And the events spiraled in a way that looks like two different stories at once.
That theory doesn't erase the eerie parts. It just frames them as the byproduct of a breakdown rather than an attacker.
What we're not going to do is pick a villain and paint a target on someone with no public proof. What we are going to say is this: the Debbie Collier case remains one of those rare stories where the official conclusion and the public intuition feel like they're in two different rooms.
Do any of these theories sound more plausible to you than the others? Do you have a theory of your own? Let us know in the comments.
If you have firsthand knowledge, something real, not rumor, about Debbie Collier's movements, contacts, or anything tied to the day she disappeared, do the right thing and contact the proper authorities.
Local reporting included specific investigator contacts at the time through the Habersham County Sheriff's Office. Even if those specific names or numbers change over time, the point stands. Reach out directly to Habersham County law enforcement if you have credible information.
And you can also send tips to crimesolverscentral.com. If you don't want to post publicly, you can message us privately with what you know or submit a tip from Debbie's case page. We can responsibly forward important information to the official agencies.
One request: keep it respectful. Debbie was a real person. Her family is real, and online speculation can harm innocent people fast.
If you want more coverage like this, cases that sit in that gray space where the story doesn't settle, subscribe, like, and share. It genuinely helps these stories reach the one person who might know the missing piece.
Thank you all very much for joining us today. I'm Jace.
And I'm Charlie. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and stay loud.